The headlines scream, "Trade war declares war on auto workers. Trump's tariffs backfire. Canada strikes back." The year is 2025, and the noise is deafening on the factory floor in Windsor, Ontario. Sparks fly, machines clang, but beneath it all, there's a nervous tension. Workers check their phones, faces tight with worry as politicians in Washington talk America first. Across the border in Detroit, the same story unfolds. Factories, workers, cars, but now divided by politics. At trade meetings, US and Canadian negotiators sit in silence, the gap between them wider than ever. For decades, these nations built an automotive empire together. Now tariffs and threats are unraveling that partnership. We meet a third-generation auto worker in Oshawa. His family built Chevrolets for generations, but now he wonders if his children will have the same chance. He points to a half-finished car. "This part's from Ohio, that one from Mexico. We're a team, not competitors." But Washington doesn't seem to get it. The dream of a seamless North American auto industry is hitting a wall, and real people are feeling the impact. In Ottawa, Canadian leaders are forced to act. Trudeau's government retaliates with tariffs and seeks new trade partners in Europe and Asia. Canada sends a clear message: it won't be held hostage. This isn't just a trade spat, it's a fundamental realignment. America First was meant to bring jobs home, but it may be pushing its closest ally away. The drama is no longer just about factories or boardrooms, it's about the future of families and communities. The silence at the negotiating table is as loud as the roar of the factory floor. The partnership that built an industry is now at risk. The stakes couldn't be higher. The next move will shape the future of North American manufacturing. To understand today's crisis, let's rewind to 1965. Back then, US and Canada's auto industries were divided by tariffs, making cars expensive and inefficient to build. The solution? The Auto Pact, a revolutionary agreement that eliminated tariffs and created a single North American market. US automakers could build in Canada and ship south, and vice versa. Plants specialized. Michigan made engines, Ontario did assembly. Costs dropped, jobs grew, and both countries prospered. The border became a bridge, not a barrier. Trucks crossed daily, parts and vehicles flowing back and forth. A transmission from Ohio could end up in a minivan built in Windsor, sold in Buffalo. This partnership was built on trust and mutual benefit. US auto giants invested heavily in Canada, relying on skilled workers and stability. Canada gained a world-class manufacturing sector. The prosperity of Detroit was tied to Windsor, Oshawa, and Brampton. For generations, this cross-border cooperation was the envy of the world. The decades after the Auto Pact were a golden age for North American autos. Removing trade barriers let automakers build massive, specialized factories. Windsor became the minivan capital, Oshawa a GM powerhouse, Brampton home to iconic muscle cars. These weren't just factories. They were centers of excellence, powered by skilled, unionized workers. Made in Canada was a mark of pride. The supply chain became a ballet parts, crossed the border multiple times before a car was finished. Just-in-time manufacturing kept costs low and factories humming. Workers enjoyed stable, well-paying jobs. The auto plants supported a vast ecosystem: suppliers, truckers, local businesses. Entire regions depended on the industry's health. The US and Canada became more than trade partners. They were family. Their futures were intertwined by steel, horsepower, and shared prosperity. This was the model the world envied. America. First protectionism shattered decades of cooperation. Suddenly, the cross-border system was seen as a weakness, not a strength. Tariffs hit steel, aluminum, and cars, sending shockwaves through the supply chain. Costs soared, just-in-time systems broke down, and automakers faced tough choices: absorb costs or raise prices. Threats of massive tariffs on Canadian cars loomed, an existential threat for Canada, where most vehicles are exported south. The reality: a Canadian car is half American, so tariffs hurt both sides. Trust eroded. Partners became rivals. The handshake of the Auto Pact was replaced by the fist of a trade war. America First isolated the US, forcing Canada to seek new options. The golden age of integration was over, replaced by economic nationalism. The foundation of the partnership was shaken to its core. The impact of tariffs became real with Stellantis' announcement in Brampton, Ontario. The plant, once home to iconic muscle cars, would retool for electric vehicles. On paper, it's a win, new investment, a future in EVs. But the shift means fewer shifts, job losses, and the end of an era for thousands of workers. Production of beloved models moves elsewhere. The Canadian government responds with hundreds of millions in support, trying to keep auto jobs at home. It's a defensive, expensive move. Canada is now in a subsidy war with the US. Stellantis' decision shows loyalty is gone. It's all about costs and incentives. US EV subsidies pull investment south, forcing Canada to fight back. The old integrated system is broken, automakers hedge their bets, and Canada's role is no longer guaranteed. The new reality: adapt or be left behind. With the US turning inward, Canada pivots outward. Diversification becomes the new strategy. No more putting all eggs in the American basket. Canada signs the CPTPP, opening doors to Asia-Pacific markets like Japan and Australia. The US withdrew, but Canada pushed forward, seeking new customers for its cars and parts. CETA with the EU eliminates tariffs, giving Canadian automakers access to 450 million consumers. Shipping to Europe is harder than trucking to Detroit, but it's a crucial alternative. The pivot isn't just about treaties, it's a mindset shift. Trade missions now promote Canadian auto innovation worldwide. Companies are encouraged to export beyond the US. The process is slow and challenging. American ties run deep. But the shock of America first is a catalyst. Canada is building a more resilient, globally connected future. One trade deal at a time, it's forging a new path. Trade policy shifts are reshaping the factory floor. The seamless flow of parts is gone. Supply chains are being re-engineered for national content rules. Efficiency is sacrificed for compliance, driving up costs and complexity. Canada risks losing high-volume, profitable vehicle production. New investments focus on EVs, but these require fewer workers. Suppliers who thrived on gasoline engines now scramble to adapt or face extinction. Many must relocate to the US or find new markets in Europe and Asia. The supplier base is hollowing out, weakening the ecosystem. Exports remain high, but the mix is changing. More high-tech, fewer mass-market vehicles. Canada bets on batteries, electric motors, and automotive software. The challenge: massive investment, retraining, and a shift from assembler to innovator. The assembly line of tomorrow will be leaner, smarter, and more uncertain. The stakes: Canada's place in the global auto industry. The trade war's impact is personal. Families feel it in their wallets and job security. Tariffs and disrupted supply chains mean higher car prices for consumers. Automakers pass on costs, making new vehicles less affordable. Fewer models, longer wait times, and less choice become the new normal. The fractured system means buyers pay more for less. For workers, the pain is sharper. Job losses as plants retool for EVs, which need fewer hands. Suppliers lay off staff or shut down, their skills suddenly obsolete. Communities suffer, local businesses lose customers, property values drop, and tax bases shrink. The prosperity built on integration crumbles. America First policies, meant to protect US jobs, export anxiety and unemployment to Canada, and raise costs at home. The lesson: trade wars have real, painful consequences. The fallout is felt far beyond the factory gates. In late 2025, the North American auto industry stands at a crossroads. The old map is gone, the future is uncertain. Can Canada truly go it alone? The pivot to Europe and Asia is bold, but the US market can't be replaced overnight. The likely future: a hybrid. Canada maintains ties with the US while building new global bridges. Innovation is key. Canada aims to lead in EV batteries, clean tech, and advanced materials. The challenge: can it innovate fast enough to stay competitive? Attracting talent, fostering research, and commercializing new tech will decide its fate. Meanwhile, Mexico quietly attracts auto investment, becoming a formidable competitor. The future may be a three-way race: US on high-end EVs, Canada on batteries and clean tech, Mexico on mass assembly. As a consumer, would you choose a Canadian-built car, even if it's harder to find? Can Canada forge an independent path, or is its destiny tied to the US? Will this era be a temporary rupture or the start of a permanent split? The road ahead is unwritten, and the world is watching.